Welcome to the Creative Condition podcast with me, Ben Talon, illustrator and creativity coach, founder of the Creative Condition, artist and writer. I bring 20 years of creative industry experience and a lifelong love of creativity, a fundamental pillar of human happiness, to you through ongoing personal exploration and the shared experiences of others. You'll get a nourishing mix of creative industry professionals and people far and wide using creativity in ways that can take our learning to the next level so we can maximise our unique blend. The show's been supported from day one by Illustration X, a tremendous illustration agency representing a shining global roster of illustrators and animators over at illustrationx.com. The music for the show is by Dirty Freud, who you can listen to now on all good streaming services. And for everything else, for my coaching, resources and inspiration, head to thecreativecondition.com. Hello and welcome back to the Creative Condition podcast. My name is Ben Talon. I am your host, founder of the Creative Condition, illustrator, writer, creativity coach, working across a broad spectrum, helping people with their creativity and to bring that artistic flair, if you will. I've been doing it for 18 years now, and I love doing this, talking around creativity to help you guys, because, well, it's turbulent times out there. A lot of transformation, a lot of big shifts going on in our world at the moment through technology, through environment, through a number of other things, and I keep doing this. We're into our 11th year now of doing the show, and today's the latest instalment of the Creativity Diary. It's been a little while since I brought you one. I've had a lot of good guest episodes, including last week's chat with Thomas Kerper, co-founder of Kerper Hosk, Swedish agency, branding agency based also in New York, doing incredible work, not to mention Thomas's personal work. And we talked at length about, sustaining and promoting creativity when you've got an agency of over 200 people, so at scale. Talked about Thomas's own work, the need to stay engaged with his own creativity and to lead by example. It's a very inspiring conversation, so go back and check that one out if you get a chance. 300th episode just in the rearview mirror with Austin Kleon. So Austin's latest book, Don't Call It Art, is phenomenal, and I've added it to the Creative Condition reading list, which has also been updated recently, so check that out. For I think it's now 42 books to help you shape your creativity, all different kinds of fiction on there, non-fiction. It's all curated with an eye on creativity in its broadest sense. That's what I'd like to do on this show. Human creativity in an automated world. That's the most recent strapline, and that's where I'm pushing things. I'm doing that with the value support of Illustration X, the founding sponsor of the show, illustrationx.com, for their global range of artist rosters, portfolios. Their roster is phenomenal. So many people on there, so much range in style, in artists who do live, artists who do mural work, large scale, digital. It's all going on. It's an incredible thing. They've been here since day one, and I cannot pick them up anymore. illustrationx.com. Welcoming back into the fold Fileco. Fileco are just absolutely phenomenal. Suppliers of the world's widest range of stamping, foil shades and finishes to the print industry. They do that better than anybody out there. They do it with zero waste. They empower brands and support creatives. What more do you need to know? They bring you that sexy, shiny stuff on your book covers, on your posters, on your packaging. They've got such an incredible foil range. I get their wares sent in the post. I'm on the mailing list, so I get the index, which is a thing of beauty. All those gorgeous styles and textures and finishes. All those options for foiling. They are the specialists. I had a walk around their factory once. I went to see Matt, my friend Matt Hornby. You might have met him at the event, the many events they do, off festival or their workshops, and they do so much to support our industry, so that's why I wanted to bring them back in. You've got to get behind that. Family-run business out in Warrington. They're just phenomenal. So fileco.com for all of that. The Paradiso Institute, I've been doing some coaching training with Marco Fan recently to become an accredited Paradiso coach for their brand new platform. They're looking to support leaders, bold, creative leadership in our industry, which they feel has been hit in recent years in the sea of same. So check them out, paradisoinstitute.org. And last but very much not least, the Ukrainian Institute. I like to shout about these guys because they are supporting the embattled creative community in this horrible time of war for the Ukrainian people. And they do it with such inspiration. They get word out there of their artists. So have a look, ui.org.ua, share something, commission something, support somebody. So welcome back, guys. This is the Creative Condition Diary. I'm going to jump into it. More guest episodes coming up. Check out the creativecondition.com/coach if you want to see the opportunities for coaching, or the story section on the website. I have a brand new storytelling offer, whether that's helping you write your book coaching, or ghostwriting. Either is fine. I love them both. I worked with Hector Ayuso recently to tell his story. Pablo Honey has a new book coming up soon. PJ Richardson, helping to coach him in writing his new talk. Incredible stuff. I'm also working with a lot of other prominent designers on that front at the moment. Storytelling is what I do. Storyteller is what I am. So get in touch. You can check out bentalonwriter.com if you want a little deep dive into my books and what I do with my own stories. Anyway, let's get to it. The Creativity Diary, 29th of April 2026. I miss retail. It's a strange yearning to walk past a shop and want to go work in it. Perhaps one a little too rose-tinted. But I like to pay attention to these intuitive pulls, so let's see. Between 1999, starting with Netto and Arsend Scandinavian Supermarket on £2.63 an hour, and 2007, ending with Waterstone's Booksellers for roughly twice that pay, I worked in many retail jobs. During a period of heightened stress last year, I walked past the Everyman Cinema and fantasised about shutting down my email, pulling down the website, burning my personal projects and going to serve popcorn in a low-lit cinema. Firstly, that wouldn't happen because I simply couldn't get by and give my family the life we've built on a retail wage. But also, as my wife rightly points out, I'd lose my head inside a week. If I step out of the stress for a moment and allow myself to return to calm, quite quickly I'm making plans for new creative ventures, connecting with other restless souls over creativity. So why the yearning? I have to interpret these things not as a call to literal action, but as themes, intuitive sirens alerting us to needs. Seeing people laughing behind a counter or restocking the drinks fridge revives muscle memories of the sense of connection and purpose these jobs brought me. Thrown together with strangers and given forced instructions, we had to adapt, get along with or tolerate those with whom we might not have clicked, make new friends we otherwise wouldn't have, cooperate so we could work and go to college, or out on the piss after work instead of working the late shift. It formed a micro-society that put us on the public front line. That brought stresses of its own, but it also gave me a tangible identity in the places I lived. In Keighley, I'd get pointed at or even hugged in takeaways at 1 a.m. by people who knew me as the bloke who gave them their VHS films and bags of popcorn in Blockbuster Video. That felt good. In Max Spielman, I'd develop photographs and laugh with people as they shrieked upon seeing their holiday photos or realising I'd fucked up the order when they revealed 30 shots of a South Asian wedding instead of the stag do they'd come in for, dreading. We'd have to work it out, diffuse the situation and find a solution. All of this meant that finishing a shift was exhilarating because we'd made it. Now, don't get me wrong, creativity is my life cause, a job I care deeply about. I don't want to return to retail because all of those shop jobs were, in part, characterised by this background fantasy of one day getting to draw, write or paint and not having to come to the shop to earn my keep. But now, 18 years into said fantasy, there are critical parts of it I've failed to maintain, and most of them can be found in retail jobs. I sit in my garden most days. I have a little studio there. A luxury indeed, but alone. This tends to lead to overthinking and demotivation sometimes. A lot of my work is self-initiated or longer term, so the grind and triumph I would get by completing a shift and locking up are absent. Instead, days and weeks blend into each other, as do all the projects, to-do lists and ideas. There was a time when I'd have nightmares about being back in retail and rejoice when I woke up to remember I was an illustrator. These days, I see the value of that work. We can always learn from what we might, in black and white terms, deem undesirable. Creativity pulls from all places, and the fantasy is rarely true. 20th of May 2026. Good for the lad's brain. My son sits down at the piano after his breakfast. No pressure or suggestion from us, just a brain well suited to systems and mechanisms that loves working out the next tune his teacher assigns him. I deny the urge to go and pick up my phone, irritated by the presence of that desire, and watch him with a smile on my face. I wondered if it was too soon to book him some lessons at the age of 5. It wasn't. My wife and I merely followed the clues he'd given us and wanted to give him the opportunity. In a couple of hours, he'll start whatever learning he's doing at school today. I feed him the right foods to help here. Then the piano. Distraction-free immersion in something that works the brain and takes him into flow. It's beautiful to see, and I hope conducive to decent concentration and focus when he studies. Other than that, I try to step off and let him be bored to balance the active entertainment. All of this reminds me of the things I can do to give myself the best chance of flow and optimal creativity. 10th of June 2026, the new hairdresser. When we saw them painting the front of the shop that had previously housed a pet salon, I had all kinds of thoughts. Another vape shop, overpriced flat. Optimistically, when they revealed the old lettering on the glass which said bakery, I salivated and daydreamed of croissants on a weekend morning. Then I saw the thick sinks, the barber chair, and the young bloke with a decent haircut. I didn't really feel anything. It was fine, and it would save me the money that the pastry trap would consume. Then, each day I passed, it was just him, a lone wolf. Some mornings I passed with the dog and saw him putting the kettle on, setting up for his first customer. Other days I was later, and he'd be smiling, nattering to various customers. But always customers. An unanticipated happiness rose in my gut. He was busy. I rarely walk past and see nobody. I don't know what his prices are or truly how many people pass through when I'm not around, but I found myself nibbling on the vicarious biscuit that I'd tasted back in my formative days, on those beautiful Fridays when I got to catch the train from Preston to go see my parents and answer, "Yeah, really busy actually," when asked about business. His customers always seem to be grinning, so I imagine what they're talking about. Not politics, not worrying things of any kind. I allow myself to believe it's something hopeful, wonderfully banal, imaginative, or deliriously asinine. Their faces suggest it is. Even when I walk the dog early and nobody's there, I wonder who's in today and what they're having done on their heads. And another layer to this is the unexpected source of motivation is that by the time I've walked the dog, made breakfast, dropped the kids at school, I feel ready to get into my little space and get creative. Maybe this is some distant echo of tribalism. His shop is literally a stone's throw from my garden, and knowing there's happiness happening, and he's got work, makes me feel good. Some sense of belonging too. Croissants would have been nice, but vicarious motivation, hairdresser style, is the one for me. So there you have it, guys, the latest ramblings of a wayward creative brain. I hope there's some value in that for you. I'm interested in your stories. Send them over, ben@bentalon.com. Message me on LinkedIn if that's easier. I will check that too. Not as prevalent on Instagram these days, though I have posted a bit of work again recently, so check that for what's been going on. That's about it for me. If you want to work directly with me coaching-wise, there are opportunities and openings for that. Work on story coaching, the pit stop, which is the one-to-one check-in session to get you back on your way on a better path. All happening thecreativecondition.com/coach. Please do consider subscribing, rating, reviewing the show. It's a massive help. Thank you so much for listening, guys. Thank you to the founding sponsor, illustrationx.com. Check out paradiseinstitute.org for bold, brave creative leadership opportunities. And of course, Foilco. Beautiful foiling specialists from Warrington with zero waste, serving the creative community in the foiling industry, foilco.com, and the Ukrainian Institute. Please do support those guys. They are so brave in remaining passionate about their creativity during this horrific time of war. Cheers for checking in, guys. Have a wonderful week. Stay creative.